Brothers and sisters, let us strip away the lies, the fantasies, and the foolishness once and for all. You can deny Africa if you want to, but the chains on your ancestors' ankles came from Africa. The blood in your veins comes from Africa, and the ships that carried you from Africa. No hashtag, no pseudo-history, no fantasy name can erase that reality. This foolish concept of ethnogenesis, this idea that somehow we became a brand new people cut off from Africa, a foundational black American, as if the slave ships dropped us out of the sky. That is a lie. That is a weapon of the oppressor. It was designed to break the bond between you and Africa so that instead of fighting your enemy, you fight your brother. Instead of raising your fist at the oppressor, you raise your tongue against your own history. That is treason. That is disgrace. Now let's talk facts. The record shows 388,000 of our people were brought directly from Africa to the United States. That is the number you've been taught, but you forget the re-exports. You forget that Africans were funneled here through the Caribbean, through Latin America, through Europe, through the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, and yes, the British before the so-called United States even had a flag. Millions passed through Jamaica, Barbados, Brazil, Cuba, Haiti, Trinidad, the Virgin Islands, and then into the ports of Charleston, New Orleans, Mobile, Galveston, Baltimore, and New York. And how did they come? Ship after ship after ship, slave brigs, schooners, and the great slavers like the Brooks Packing, 250, 300, 400 Africans in chains at a time. Merchant ships converted into slave ships, packing human cargo like cattle. Some voyages carried 150 souls. Some carried 600. Some ships built for 200 carried nearly 700. Flesh pressed against flesh. And these voyages did not happen once or twice. They happened for centuries. Scholars tell you 1,200 to 1,500 voyages just to the United States, not counting the thousands more into the Americas that later re-exported captives northward. And you think 388,000 is the whole number? Foolishness. Add the re-exports, add the smuggled cargoes, add the ships that slipped into Carolina and Florida after 1808 when the trade was outlawed but never stopped. The true number of Africans who bled into America is far, far greater. Then came the breeding farms. Do you hear me? The forced breeding, the selective breeding. Black women forced to birth child after child, their wombs turned into factories for profit. Scholars estimate hundreds of thousands of babies born in bondage every decade, bred like animals, sold like cattle. And some of you dare dishonor those mothers and fathers by saying you are not African. That is not pride. That is shackled thinking. Do not forget, Native Americans owned slaves. Native Americans were slave catchers. Some joined with Europeans to hunt us down, to return us in chains. Yet today, you want to hide behind false Native claims and say, I am not African. That is cowardice. That is confusion. That is the mind of the slave still echoing in your head. Now, don't misunderstand us. We love our elders, our ancestors. We honor them. But many of them were forced to think as slaves. They were trained to survive under oppression, not to be free men and women. Their survival was supposed to give us the opportunity to think freedom, breathe freedom, and live liberation. If all you do is recycle the thinking of the slave, then you dishonor them. If you delineate, you betray them. Look at the record. Our language stolen, our drums silenced, our names stripped away, our mothers raped, our fathers chained, our babies sold. And yet you want to stand here and say you are not of Africa? That is not liberation. That is the echo of shackles still rattling in your skull. So let this be the call. Love Africa. Love your people. Build your own schools, your own businesses, your own armies, your own future. Stop dreaming and start building. Stop denying and start defining. We are Africans. And to be African in America means we have the highest obligation to break these chains once and for all. Delineation is treason. When you deny Africa, you disgrace the very skin you wear. So today, in the name of our ancestors, in the name of every soul thrown overboard, in the name of every child born on a breeding farm, in the name of every man and woman who lived and died in chains, I call on the ancestors, and I curse all who dare sow division among African people. Let it be known, we are one people, one blood, one Africa. And until we reclaim that truth, we will never be free.